Okay, so the reason I move these vehicles over here, because it gets a little tricky at this point. If you're unsure about this, you can consult your rule book. I'll give you the pages so you can look it up. On page 99 of the rule book, it talks about unarmored vehicle saves. It says when you hit an unarmored vehicle team, your opponent must take an unarmored vehicle save to see if your shot caused any serious damage, which I already did. Those were my 5+ saves. If you roll a 5+, it's unharmed. Otherwise, the vehicle is automatically destroyed. So I hit and destroyed this vehicle. Now the other ones were unable to be hit because they were kind of hidden. Now what happens next is where it gets a little tricky. And not really though. When you hit an unarmored transport team, whether or not you destroyed it, in this case I did, every passenger carried by the transport team must make a 5+ passenger save. Now this is very bad because passengers normally, when they're dismounted, have a 3-up save. But when mounted, they benefit from the extra movement, things like that, but they lose their advantage to get out of the way. So I must make a roll for each passenger mounted. Now in my platoon, it's a full-strength platoon. So I have 2 teams. I should have my additional staff car here. I have 2 teams per truck and 1 command team in the command car. I also have, oh, not in this platoon, sorry. So yes, I have 2 per and 1 in the command car. Now this vehicle, sorry, had 2 passengers, so they need to make 5-up saves. So I roll the dice. I rolled 3 and a 3. Normally, they'd be fine. But in this case, because they're passengers, they are automatically destroyed. So 2 casualties go back into the side of the table. They're removed from the game. Now, if all the passengers in a transport team are destroyed, but the vehicle is not, the transport team is sent to the rear. In this case, they were destroyed. So the vehicle isn't sent to the rear because it's already destroyed. If any transport teams in the platoon were destroyed, which they were, just had a transport team destroyed, then all surviving passenger teams mounted in unarmored transport teams immediately dismount under the fire, and all their unarmored transport teams in the platoon are destroyed and removed from the table. The platoon is now pinned. So what that means is all these other transports, their guys have to get out, okay? And they can be placed up to 2 inches away from the vehicle compartment, I believe it is. So these 2 will get out of the back of this one. These 2 guys will get out of the one in the front here. The command also jumps out. So he jumps out, and I'll put him just back here. And then removed, 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 and to top that all off, pinned down. So that's the result of that machine gun fire that snuck around the back, decimating that mounted up truck platoon. Now these guys are in a bad position. They're out in the open. They've lost their transports. They're pinned down, and they've taken casualties. More than they maybe would have if it was just shooting at them dismounted. So having your trucks or guys mounted in trucks does create some problems. It does give you an advantage, but you need to make sure you get them up where you need to and dismount. Now, the Russians unfortunately rushed in. They got lots of opportunities to open fire, and the Germans kind of got bottlenecked coming over that bridge. So that was to their disadvantage. And that's basically how that shooting phase goes. So now we are done shooting from both tank platoons and artillery. It's over to the Germans for turn 3.